people watch us and they're like, damn, they're maybe the most basic white girls ever.
Or the hottest. Let's be honest.
It's just funny that
how you still feel that way.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no. I'm so mad!
We just filmed we recorded, or thought we were recording.
We recorded, I think, 10 minutes at least of that nothing.
Our mics were muted, so it didn't catch any of that. So we're gonna take 2.
That's what I think about that. Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Unapologetic Files. We are your hosts, Avery
And Kirsten.
And today's episode is the long-awaited Galentine's Day chat. We're talking about everything from sex to relationships to dating to struggles in our relationships. And really just getting into the nitty-gritty of being completely unapologetic. This is where that kind of comes into play.
We're just gonna be honest. This is take 2, but not on purpose.
Our mics were muted for the first 10 minutes.
So we're just over here talking, gabbing away, and Avery looks down. What even made you look down?
I don't know. I was like just checking to make sure it was recording, and then I looked down and
sure, yeah, it was not recording. So here we are again.
Disclaimer on this episode, you guys, moms, and anybody who doesn't want to hear about Kirsten and I's sex life, or maybe dismiss this one. And then anybody who has maybe kiddos or plays their podcasts in public, you might want to put headphones in for this one, just because we're getting into just girls chat.
Yeah, it's gonna be raw, real. We're excited to, like Avery said, get in the nitty-gritty stuff, but also share a lot of health benefits, facts, all that kind of stuff, which Avery will go into because we also have a guest speaker for today's episode, which we're super excited about. So all the facts and information we're sharing today is definitely backed up by a reliable source. Do you want to go in and how you found it?
So Dr. Holbrook I found on Instagram. So Dr. Holbrook is a sexologist. She's a sex educator, a speaker, and an author. She has dedicated her life to helping women achieve soul-centered sex through perfectly planned mental and behavioral changes. And she does all of this through one-on-one consultation. So if you're interested in that, I will leave her information at the end of this episode, and we'll also link it in all of our social platforms. And then she also does consultations with couples. So, you know, a 2-on-1 experience. Yeah. And she provides all of this educational content to the public through her platforms like her Instagram. And then she has a website, which again, we will share at the end of this episode. So I reached out to Dr. Holbrook after receiving all of your guys' responses. So thank you so much for filling out our anonymous form. We got a ton of responses on this one.
Thank you so much. We definitely enjoyed
and you guys are so unapologetic in the responses, so it's so fun to read through them and see what you guys have to say because we relate to a lot of them, I'm sure. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into...
Yeah, we'll jump right into topic 1, which is going to be struggles in a relationship. So the first question we asked was, what do you struggle with when it comes to intimate relationships? Whether it would be a current relationship that you're in or just a relationship as a whole. So a lot of answers were like being confident in the bedroom, trust and communication, deep conversations and being vulnerable with my partner. This one I definitely related to. Somebody said, I'm very introverted and independent, so I struggle with getting enough alone time / me time and my partner not taking it personally. I totally relate to that because I am like 110% an introvert and Carson's like 1,000% an extrovert. So like at the beginning of our relationship, there's things that like he didn't understand why I'm feeling a certain way, whether it be like as little as I just don't want to go out, and he's over here like, I need to go out, you know, I need to do something. So I definitely relate to that. So I would just encourage you to have like just a sit-down conversation with them, dive deeper, and explain to them like what an actual meaning is behind an introvert, what you need from them, and that kind of stuff. And if you're like, okay, well I tried that and it's not really working, what worked for Carson and I is just having like an outside perspective, and I'm not saying like sit them down and have like this very intimidating formal conversation. Just more have like an outside perspective, whether it's like a family member or friend, and just have them bring it up to them and just have them word it different, and sometimes just a different person perspective the way they word things. Sometimes that just helps click in somebody's mind. So that's what worked for us. And then a lot of people said, like, insecurities about my body.
Yeah, we all have those.
Yeah.
It's, I think, completely human nature to have insecurities, whether it be social aspects or within your personality. Both male and female, I think everybody has an insecurity because we, I think, perceive ourselves based on the outside world and what we see and what we take in through media and all of that. So I think it's completely normal to have insecurities. But Dr. Holbrook does touch on this topic down in a little bit later on in the episode. So stay tuned if that is something that you maybe do struggle with.
Yeah, definitely.
So one of the other questions we asked you guys in the anonymous form was whether or not you're satisfied with your sex life, why or why not. And the answers for this one were pretty, indifferent. We had a lot of yes and no's. It was like 50-50 for this. So I'm going to read a couple of the responses. Someone said, no, I've never felt like I can be completely honest about what I need. Someone said, I am satisfied. We have sex very often and it's always good. I wish we would try different things more often rather than the same stuff every day. Someone said, no, it's been a little dry. And then someone said, yes, but I feel like there's more I want to explore. Sometimes it feels like we have a routine. And I completely relate to that. I think we get in these routines, whether it be with work or having kiddos and taking them to school and coming home and making dinner at a certain time and going to the gym at a certain time. And so it kind of makes it hard because then when you want to have like intimate time with your relationship and not necessarily sex, but just
a whole,
having a couple minutes with each other, it's sometimes hard. And I think it comes down to like that oftentimes happens when we both lay our heads on the pillow at night. And I think it's important to like take, a couple minutes out of the day, whether it be a phone call or if you're on lunch break around the same time or something, so that you can incorporate a little bit more time,
No, I totally agree. I mean, how many times do you go through the day and then you see them at night and you're like, this is the first time I've talked to you. This is the first time I've actually looked you in the eyes. And it's like, yes, we get life's busy and all that, but that's kind of crazy in a way, Yeah. It makes me sad when I at least recognize that for Carson and I.
So what do you think, like, I'm just going to ask you, what do you think, like, your and Carson's, like, biggest struggle, I guess, as, like, within a relationship together is?
Like, as a whole?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I would definitely say, like, we're very opposite. And, they say opposites attract, so that makes sense. But in the sense of, like I was saying earlier, I'm very introverted, he's very extroverted. So from the littlest to biggest things, we just think differently at the end of the day. Like there will be something that happens, whether it's big or small, and he'll just be like, do, and I'm over here crying. And he's like, honey, why are you crying? So, like, we just think of things differently. And so really having those honest communications of like, okay, honey, this is how I perceive things. I understand this is how you perceive things. And just stepping into each other's shoes has helped a lot. And I think specifically right now, they say the first year of marriage is the hardest. And Carson and I are going, on our third year of marriage, but this is technically our first year of marriage together, which is just crazy to even think. If you don't know that background, it's military related. I won't get into that. But anyways, so we're definitely going through that like first year of marriage together, under the same roof, living together, all that kind of stuff. So I think we're just going through a lot of just like learning curves and challenges right now. But I can say at the end of the day, our biggest thing is just communicating to each other. And that definitely is a healthy thing to do. What about you and Luke?
I think Luke and I are both very strong-headed and opinionated. I'm very opinionated. Like, it's kind of a problem sometimes because I think I offend people when I don't mean to.
But on the flip side of things, you are that friend that when we need to hear something honest, you will say it. So it's not a negative thing at all. I would definitely think it's a good thing.
Luke and I butt heads. I think Luke and I really get along, like really well. But I would say the biggest thing we butt heads over is like our own opinions because I like things a certain way and he likes things a certain way, or I feel like I know something is right and he feels like he knows something is right, and then we'll be like, no, you're wrong. I'm right. Shut up and listen to me. So I think that's where we butt heads because we're both very opinionated and. I don't know what another word would be, but we
Yeah.
just both speak our minds, and a little bit more me because Luke is more introverted like
Oh,
you.
okay, yeah.
And I am more
definitely see that.
extroverted. And so, yeah, I think that's like our biggest struggle. I think I just sometimes need to stop and take a step back and realize that I have room to grow and learn. So I just need to like take his, you know, his thoughts and whether I agree with them or not. And
no, I think everyone can take something from that as far as just taking a step back. Whether it's any topic, anything under the sun, taking a step back and that kind of stuff. Let's go into like struggling with body confidence.
Totally.
Do you struggle with body
confidence? Oh,
confidence?
absolutely. I think every woman and male struggles with body confidence of some sort, whether that be...
I think it's normal. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's normal, common. Yeah, I think for me, like, it's very easy for me to, like, look at somebody else and be like, okay, girl, like, you're beautiful. You don't need to, like, why are you second-guessing yourself? Like, the woman body is amazing. You're beautiful no matter what. Like, shape, size, it doesn't matter. But I think when I come back on myself and try to tell myself that, I struggle and I don't believe it, or I nitpick, or, you know.
So true. I do the same thing.
Yeah. I look in the mirror and all these negative thoughts come. I'm like, I can easily see the beauty in other people, but I struggle with myself.
Yeah.
So I definitely struggle with body confidence. So this year I'm definitely working on, like, when those negative thoughts start to come, just cutting them off from the beginning, because I mean, my husband's amazing. He's like, he's my biggest cheerleader. He like always is like, honey, why would you ever think that? Like, he is
good job, Carson.
Yeah, good job, honey. But so it's definitely just a me thing. It's in my head, and I think that's how it is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's like stuck in their head, like it was drilled in there or something, and we just need to work on overcoming that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think for me, I'm going to touch on sex with this a little bit.
Yeah.
I think okay, so Luke and I have been together for like 7 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've been together for a really long time. And I still get self-conscious about like, does my breast smell bad? Is my hair crazy when we are having sex? Like, stupid things. Did I shave? There's sometimes I feel like I have to shave, shower, exfoliate, self-tan, brush my teeth, do my hair before he touches me. Yeah. And then there's also times when I'm like, I haven't shaved for 4 weeks.
Yeah, like what you see is what you get.
Yeah. So I think for me, like, body confidence is definitely something I struggle with as a whole. But I also, like, I think it's just a thing, like, I want to feel pretty. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like when I feel pretty, I can relax more in sexual
you get out,
situations.
you get out of your head. I agree.
Yeah. And I feel like you can focus more on the sex and the pleasure than,
oh my gosh, do I look
did
good?
Yeah.
I agree.
Does my breast smell like onions? You know?
Yeah, I think I'm an overthinker. Are you an overthinker?
Yeah, I am too.
So, like, with sex, in a way, it's already hard enough for an overthinker to, like, fully be present and be in the moment and enjoy it. So having all of what you all just said on top of that, it can be definitely hard sometimes.
Yeah,
so,
with you.
Do you want to go into Dr. Holbrook's answer?
Sure. So we reached out to Dr. Holbrook and we asked her 2 questions that related to many of your guys' responses on this topic. The first question we asked her was, how would you recommend commuting to your partner if you're not satisfied with your sex life? And here's what she had to say on that topic. We're done.
Hold, please.
Here we go.
One of the very first things that you can do is start with, I'd really like to try, or what do you think about, just opening the conversation. I ask my couples to fill out an awareness exercise when they first come in, which is basically understanding how you feel about sex right now. Like, write some words down to describe how you feel about sex right now. And then I have them write my dream sexual experience would feel like. And so I'm asking them to get really clear on how you want to feel in sex, not just what you want to do in sex. So understanding what you want to feel. I want to feel desired, pleasure, connection, intimacy, erotic, whatever those things are. you figure out what you want to feel in sex, and then you can figure out what you want to do. So if you're not satisfied in your sex life, start understanding what you and your partner want to feel emotionally, and then you can start figuring out what you want to do behaviorally to figure out how to meet those goals.
That was really good. Then the second thing we asked her was, what's your best advice that you would give someone that is wanting to spice up their relationship or sex life? And here's what she had to say.
Honestly, it goes back to that original question. What do you want to feel? Because I can teach you how to use spreader bars and restraints and butt plugs and, paddles and floggers and feathers all day long. But if it doesn't meet your emotional need, it doesn't matter. And so spicing up your sex life starts with really getting clear on what you actually want to feel.
I think she makes really good points with that I think it ties into more of because as women I feel like we're more we're more God, I did it again.
That was MOOOORE in case you wanted to know how to spell that.
We are more emotionally not involved, but
just
aware.
Our way of thinking, like you're saying, we need that emotional connection. Whereas men, they're just let's just get down to the raunchy, la, la, you know what I mean? I totally agree with that. I think one thing with spicing up the sex life, advice-wise, I would say is going back to that whole routine thing, trying to do it spontaneously. Trying to not just do it at night when you're going to bed. Doing it during the freaking day. Just being spontaneous about it, being more out of your comfort zone with that. And then one other thing, and I wrote this down, but I realized I don't even have the name of it, but Carson found this app, and I don't know the name of it, so I'm sorry. I'll find out, and then we'll put it on our socials or something. But we found this app, and it basically is foreplay leading up to, the big shebang. So it isn't just okay, hey, getting straight to it. It has that foreplay, almost okay, let's get back to dating
actions,
each other.
or is it
so it's kind of a game where, no, it's an action. And it's kind of like a board game on the phone or whatever.
Fun.
So it's different levels. So it keeps getting spicier and spicier, and it leads
I
you
wanna
on
know
and
what
on.
this is.
Yeah, I'll definitely, it's on his phone, so I don't have it, but I will definitely, I'll give it to you and I'll share it on socials and stuff. But that's just a good example if you're well, I don't know how to be spontaneous, I don't know how to get that emotional foreplay or anything like that. That's a good little resource.
Is so important for women. I think
so important,
because honestly, I feel men can get their schlingading up real quick.
Oh, 2
and
seconds.
So we're over here.
Okay,
focus.
Yeah. Mentally, namaste.
Get in the mood. And so I think for women, foreplay is so important.
Yes.
We asked you guys a couple of questions. We said, how do you keep things fun and fresh in a relationship? What advice would you give to someone who's looking to spice things up? We wanted to read some of your guys' responses real quick too, since we read Dr. Holbrook's.
Yeah.
But figured I would also read some of your guys' responses just to share. So someone said, talk to each other, tell your partner what you like and don't like. Tell them your fantasies so they can always help you love those out. Try new things, go new places, ask new questions. I think that goes back to what you said, being spontaneous and stuff. Someone said, sometimes my significant other just be sitting there and I'll walk up and just start rubbing and touching on things.
I love that.
Someone said, my best advice is to try your best to communicate. Don't be afraid to be what do you think would be hot to try in the bedroom? Or what do you think would be fun to try a new toy or a lube? Or I think it would be so hot if we tried this one time. Personally, I like bringing in toys and then creating a playlist to put in the background. Do you have a sex playlist?
We don't, do you?
Okay, no, but
okay.
We started one.
Oh,
because
fun.
this is TMI, but here we are, unapologetic.
Unapologetically us.
The other night I was like, you have to turn the TV off because I can't focus when Ozark is on. I'm in the middle of this series, okay? I can't focus if this shit's on.
You can't miss out on the show for this.
So you need to turn this off. But then it was just kind of quiet, so I like leaned over and like turned my phone on, you know? And then I was like, I actually really enjoyed
the
that.
whole mood?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so
well, I'm sure it does, yeah.
Yeah. So if anybody has a sex playlist, drop your favorites to me.
Yeah.
Link your playlist for us to share because I think it helps. I don't know. I just think it's something different because a lot of people just, I don't know.
Get right to it.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on somebody who said my significant other would just be sitting there and I'll walk up and just start, rubbing and touching. So I have to ask you, like, is it usually you or Luke who's starting things, like, as an overall of your relationship?
I would say him.
Okay.
But there's also sometimes that it's me.
So is it pretty even?
I feel like it's pretty even, but
Okay.
I would say leaning more
Or
towards
Carson.
him.
It's definitely...
Is it you?
No,
Oh.
it's Carson. I'm saying, like, he's always the one that has to initiate it just because I'm that overthinker. I'm that, like, my mind's always somewhere else. So, like,
Right, that is gonna like...
No, my mind's never, like, there. And
Gotcha,
I swear the timing of my body is so bad because whenever I am in the mood, he's never there.
Yeah.
Like, it's either midday, I'm at, well, let's not.
Let me take a quick lunch break to the bathroom.
I know, right? And it's just, like, bad timing because whenever I am, he's not there. And I'm like, honey, like, whatever. So, anyways, I think if you're in my boat trying to go back to that spontaneous, like, try being the one who initiates it if you're normally not.
Yeah.
That's something that I really want to do because I think he would literally pass out.
I think,
I never do.
You need to listen to your
anyways.
advice. You said you need to be
Yeah.
spontaneous.
So here I am, giving myself advice.
We'll touch base with her on next episode.
I will update you next episode.
So jumping into topic 2, we're going to talk about benefits and health components that sex contributes to. So we're going to dive in a little bit more about what goes into sex, not just physical connection, but the health benefits that goes behind it and how having a healthy sex life can contribute to your overall healthy life.
Love that.
So a couple of things. We asked you guys on our anonymous form, how often are you guys having sex? This one I was really interested to see what everybody responded.
Me too.
So about 52% of you guys said multiple times a week. 21% said once a week. About 10% said 1 to 3 times a month. And then we had some other responses that said it had been a while, it just depends, and somebody said, or maybe a couple people had said, I couldn't see the actual percentage because it was pretty small every single day, but you go.
Yeah,
girl.
Dang. What's
know.
your schedule?
I know.
Let's get on that.
I know. So I was really interested to see like what you guys had to say. What would you fall into under this category?
I would say we'd bounce between, honestly, once a week and multiple times a week.
Agreed. Just
based off of schedule and how busy we are.
Yep, I totally agree.
Yeah.
There's been months that like Luke's been gone, he's been traveling a lot for work, so I would agree with you. I bounce between those two as well.
Yeah.
We also asked you guys who first initiates sex in the relationship. So Kristen and I just talked about this. So your guys' response was over 78% of you guys said that they initiate sex first, and about 20% or so of you guys said that you initiate.
Okay, so that's 78%. Take my advice and we'll update each other in about 2 weeks and let me know how it went.
I love it. We'll just do another anonymous form so we can all keep each other updated.
Yeah, right? Also, okay, so we compiled a crash course on some interesting health facts about sex. So here they are. We're just going to go back and forth. So the first one is sex can boost your immune system. According to research, individuals that have sex at least once a week increases the levels of immunoglobulin. That was one of those words I couldn't say.
Yeah, I don't know if it's immunoglobulin or immunoglobulin. Yeah, you said it right.
Anyways, I was anxious about that. Immunoglobulin A in the saliva. Immunoglobulin A is an antibody that helps fight off bacteria and viruses.
Let's just kick COVID with sex.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. I love that. Let's get a shirt that says that. Kick COVID with sex is our new merch. Coming to you live on April first. Just kidding.
Okay, another fact. Sex can help protect your brain function down the road. A study found that women who remained sexually active into older age had better cognitive functioning than those who didn't. Researchers measured the woman's ability to recall words and adjusted the results to account for factors like depression and physical activity level. Sexually active people within that older age range performed much better on the test. This one was really interesting.
So start young.
So start young, and the older people keep a going.
Yeah, keep doing you. I love it.
I was talking to Luke about this the other day.
Uh-huh.
I was like, how old do you think we're going to be? Like, is there a cutoff for, like, not having sex?
Yeah.
Like, genuinely. I'm, like, genuinely curious. Like, if you're 90 years old, are people still having sex at 90 years old?
Well, yeah, I don't.
Like, I don't know.
I think that's more of a men question, like how they're
Can
little,
you?
like, yeah.
Can their little thing
Can
get a
they
little
get up?
jiggy?
Does it get excited? I don't know.
I was genuinely curious because I'm like, I want to know, like, I told Luke, I was like, how old do you think we'll be? Luke,
Well,
are you trying to
play
stop?
Yeah, your future. Oh, that's funny. Okay, next one is sex can lessen pain. Before you reach for an aspirin, try an orgasm, vaginal stimulation.
Vaginal.
Okay, I'm laughing because we were reading these at the beginning, and I said vaginal.
No, you said
No.
vaginal.
I said vaginal. I'm sorry. I said vaginal. Who has a vaginal? So that was another word I was anticipating.
Start
Okay,
over. Vaginal.
I'm sorry. Before you reach for aspirin. I don't think I can. I can't
You want
stop.
me to read it
Yeah,
for you?
I can't stop laughing.
Okay. Sex can lessen pain. Before you reach for an aspirin or an aspen, try an orgasm. Vaginal stimulation can block chronic back and leg pain, and many women have told us that genital self-stimulation, aka masturbation, can reduce menstrual cramps, arthritic pain, and in some cases even a headache. That one was really interesting to me too.
Yeah, love that. Women are blessed with bodies that are capable of experiencing orgasms in more ways than one. Some researchers believe that there are as many as 12 types of female orgasms. The most common type is the clitoral orgasm, which is
so
me.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. But it's so interesting.
12 ways.
12. Because
That's
I would
crazy.
assume it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
Clitoral
either.
penetration, your G-spot. I don't know if that's two different things or not. But
But that's only
I
3,
know.
and there's 12.
Dr. Holbrook does talk on this though, so hold on just a second. And then the last fact we wrote down was sex also helps with stress, sleep, and it boosts your libido. So super interesting facts that we gained off of. I think we provided these resources off of Flow and a couple of other women reproductive based credible sources.
Yeah.
So super interesting.
So, we had to ask Dr. Holbrook about the benefits of sex, and here's what she had to say on this topic.
I like to talk about the health benefits of pleasure. I really think that pleasure heals and that it's one of the things that makes us human. And so the idea of using our senses to experience pleasure is one of the ways that we can experience presence, because you can't experience your senses in the past or the future. You can only experience your senses in the present moment. And because in sex we experience most of our senses at the same time, it is one of the ways in which we can truly experience presence, which helps us have less anxiety and less stress, because most of anxiety and stress is in the past or the future, whereas being inside your body, being inside your senses is in the present moment, away from the past and the future. So that's one of the ways that sex is beneficial for us, because it provides us pleasure, which also provides us presence and lowers anxiety.
Super interesting.
It lowers anxiety.
We all need that.
Yeah, we do all need that. Okay, so we also asked her, what are the benefits and factors that go into an orgasm? If a woman has a hard time orgasming, what advice or tips would you give to her?
Okay, so first, if you have a hard time having an orgasm, be sure you really understand what an orgasm is. It is an involuntary contraction of the pelvic floor muscles for penis owners and for vulva owners. And so really understanding what it is and what it isn't is helpful. What it isn't is probably something you saw on TV where the woman is, vulva owner is screaming her head off and like losing her mind. Yes, sometimes that happens. The majority of time, an orgasm does not look like that. It's also helpful to understand that when we research the phases in which most people enjoy sex, when we ask them, what is your most enjoyable part of sex in the sexual response cycle, which is desire, arousal, plateau, orgasm, and refractory period, most people say the arousal period. In other words, that period of time where you're getting aroused, you're rubbing your bodies together, you're kissing, you're making out, you are touching each other everywhere. That is what most people say is their favorite part about sex. And actually it's not orgasm. That comes in second or third for most people. And so taking orgasm a little bit off the table and saying like, what do I want out of sex? And if you have an emotion-based goal, like we talked about earlier, and what you want out of sex is pleasure and connection, you can get that with or without an orgasm. Now, I understand people want to experience certain things and want to experience orgasm, so once you make pleasure the measure of a great sexual experience, Dr. Emily Nagoski, that's her use of words, pleasure is the measure, then you start to get more aroused and probably get closer to having that orgasm or tipping over the edge into that involuntary contraction. So make pleasure the measure. Remember that most people love the other parts of a sexual experience other than orgasm. And, keep trying different sensations. Maybe try a clitoral vibe or, grinding, broad pressure, non-penetrative play. Outer course is king when it comes to having an orgasm for vulva owners. So try something different.
Super interesting.
Yeah. Awesome. So we're going to get into the nitty-gritty now of the bedroom.
This is going to be the fun part.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm like...
This is like the real girl talk.
Yeah,
right?
Let's get into it. Grab your wine now. Okay, so we're going to start off with some lighthearted, unapologetic questions that we asked you guys. So the first one was, are sex toys a part of your relationship or a part of your personal life? If so, share the deets, girl. So some responses, yes, very fun. It makes things interesting in the bedroom. Try new things. It will surprise you how much you will like it. And in your personal life, you should take care of yourself as well. It will encourage you to want to be with your partner. Use that vibrator. Love that. I agree with that 100%. Someone else said they are not, but I always wanted to. I am most embarrassed to bring up the idea to my boyfriend of 3 years, and I shouldn't be. It's so silly to be scared to talk about it. How do you bring that up? So, does Dr. Holbrook?
Dr. Holbrook does touch on this coming up, so
Okay.
hang in there on that one.
Mm-hmm.
She does talk about it.
Awesome. Somebody else said, absolutely, the rose is the best sex toy on the market.
I've never even heard of that. So
I haven't either.
We'll have to check that out. The rose. The
Okay.
rose.
The rose.
So.
Okay.
Well, all Google search is about to be popping with the rose.
Love that. Dr. Holbrook responds to our question of, for someone who has never used them, would you recommend it, or if so, what kind? So we're going to play her response.
Always recommend it. Yeah, so I always recommend a clitoral vibrator if you own a vulva to start out with. Just a small vibrator that's not inserted into the vagina, but gives you added sensations. And this is for penis owners too. Something like a male masturbator sleeve or a penis masturbator sleeve can give you just different sensations. Remember that sex toys are just gadgets. They're gadgets to help you have sex that feels different or easier or more enjoyable. Just like your kitchen gadgets. I have gadgets in my kitchen that help cooking feel more easy or enjoyable. My sex toys help sex feel more easy or enjoyable. So clitoral vibrator is where to start if you've never had one before, or a male masturbator sleeve if you own a penis, are the places to start to just add some different types of sensation to your sex life. They never replace partners. There's no way a sex toy can replace a partner because you can't find intimacy and vulnerability with a sex toy. So they're just sensation makers. That's it.
Sensation makers.
Go to the question that somebody asked about how do you bring that up if you're wanting to try a sex toy and don't really know how. Earlier, Dr. Holbrook said, like, asking the questions, like, what would you think about trying, and what are your thoughts on? So I think maybe engaging in just conversation and communicating with your partner.
Like, have you ever thought of adding
Yeah, and who knows, if you've never, like, had that conversation with your partner, they might really be into it, and you just haven't had that conversation yet. So I feel like the worst you do is have the conversation, and they're like, I don't know, or you have the conversation and you try it, or shoot, just go and get something and bring it home and whip that thing out.
Yeah, add that spontaneous touch to that. But also, us overthinkers out there, don't overthink it.
Yes.
Like Avery was saying, the worst thing that could happen is you don't, but you're already not doing it.
There's nothing to lose at that
There
point.
isn't anything to lose, so just don't overthink it. It's normal. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing to be embarrassing about. Or anything like that.
I like that Dr. Holbrook touches on that they are just sensation makers and that they don't replace any sort of partner. They aren't made to replace a partner because a partner is something that has a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So, and that's nothing that could be replaced by that, you know? I had to elaborate on this though because I think it's funny. The best girls' night, I think, is like getting together with the girls. We've done this before. Go out, get lunch or dinner, and then go and jump around your local sex stores. It's so much fun.
It is so much
fun. Go and get a couple drinks. Uber over to maybe not Uber over to the sex store. Have a designated driver. If you Uber over to the sex store, girl, you might as well bring the Uber in with you and tip them through that. But I just think, like, we've done that before. We've gone out
it was
and, like,
so much fun.
We went and got, like, lingerie together, and then we picked up some fun stuff, and it was such a fun girls' day. So even if you don't want to go and you're brand new to sex toys and you don't want to, like, go and pick one out with your partner, because I could see how that could be intimidating. I think, like, get your girlfriends together and go and make a day of it. So fun.
Yes.
And sex stores are, if you've never been into a sex store, I feel like they're, like, the people that work there are, like, they love their job.
I was just going to say that, like, it seems like it would be so intimidating. People are judging you.
Girl,
they're there for the same reason.
Yeah.
The last thing on their mind is, what is she doing here?
So if you have no plans for Valentine's Day, which I know some of you said you didn't, get your girls, make a Galentine's Day, go to lunch, get a couple drinks, and hit the sex store up for yourself even. You don't need to purchase them for you and a partner. For yourself.
Treat yourself.
Such a fun thing to do.
Yeah, love that. Okay, so we're going to move on to another question we asked. Are you a fan of lingerie or not? If you are, what is your favorite place to shop for lingerie?
So you guys answered. I'm going to read a couple different responses. Someone said, not really, honestly. I like cute bras and panties, but I feel like lingerie is a waste of money. Someone said, yes, but it's so expensive. Plus, I have become so insecure about my body, my weight specifically. Someone said, yes, we love lingerie. Victoria's Secret and Adam and Eve. Fenty X Savage as well. I haven't tried that brand.
I haven't either.
I've heard a lot about it, though. Yeah. Someone said, I'm indifferent. Plus, the husband says it's a waste of material. He'd rather nothing be in his way. But I do think it's beautiful and makes you feel confident when you find the right piece. It's a fun way to entice your partner as well. Yes, it's almost always Victoria's Secret or Pretty Little Thing was the last one that somebody said. So I've never shopped at Pretty Little Thing, and I've never shopped at Fenty X Savage. I have shopped at Adam and Eve, but it wasn't for lingerie, and I have shopped at Victoria's Secret. Yeah.
I agree. Are you a huge lingerie person?
I love lingerie.
Yeah.
But I think I love it more for me than anything.
Yeah.
I think, again, going back to body confidence and what we were talking about before and how I feel like I can feel more comfortable and relaxed and enjoy the sensations of pleasure better if I feel beautiful myself. And I think if you struggle with that, try it. Because I promise it will make a difference if you walk out and you feel like the bad bitch that you are. Yeah. I love lingerie. It's not something that is like a common thing, I feel like. I sleep in panties and a big t-shirt.
Yeah. It's not like you go to bed in it every night.
If you do, girl, you're rocking it.
Yeah.
You are like living the life.
Yeah.
But it is expensive. And some of our girls in the responses said like Shein. I've never ordered lingerie.
I haven't ordered from there at
but
all.
We are also 5'10", and so I feel like for us,
A veggie, or no, what's a wedgie in the...
Yeah, like the ones that are...
veggie?
Yeah, veggie. Yeah, veggie. We get those veggies commonly.
We don't
for any
want
sort of
that.
bodysuit
Yeah.
type. But yeah, I like lingerie. Do you?
Yeah. I love lingerie. Like I said, I think it's a confident booster and everything like that. But being totally like honest, I don't know the last time I wore lingerie because it's, you know, at the end of the day, we're not really.
Brain fart.
I so had an idea. I so had a thought and it literally went out the window. What I'm trying to say is I think if I were to be more spontaneous and not just have it be, you know, at night, like at the end of the day when it's most convenient and had fun, like going out, buying lingerie, being the one who initiates it, you know, being this whole new enticer, then I definitely would. But I think, like I said, it's just routines and everything get in the way of all of that. So I definitely just need to be more mindful of wanting to wear lingerie and putting in that extra effort, because right now I definitely don't know the last time I did.
That might be a good way for you, though.
I'm in pajamas.
It might be a good way for you, though, because you were talking about how, like, you need to be more spontaneous and get out of your own head.
Yeah.
So if you maybe just took the step and, like, dressed up,
yeah,
then you don't even have to, like, initiate
I think I would pass out myself.
You don't have to initiate anything physically, then you just walk out and boom.
No, you know how many times I've thought about that, but yeah, I have lingerie and stuff, but it's just something about, like, just our schedules and routines, so I just need to do the dang thing.
I know, I agree with you.
But no, I love lingerie, but it is expensive, so.
I know. Just going back really quick to, this ties in with sex toys and lingerie. Someone said, like, Adam and Eve. I just have to tell a funny story about this.
Go for it.
So Luke and I always fall asleep with our TV on, and this was,
I
know what story I'm
yes,
gonna tell.
yes.
Last year when we were in our old apartment, our TV at the time didn't have like one of those timers where it just like shuts off in the middle of the night, you know, so it just would play. So we'd put something on TV, and it was always the Paramount channel that we would watch like at night. I'm pretty sure it was Paramount.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the night, religiously, this would happen all the time. I would wake up to Adam and Eve's theme song, of like their little jingle, and it would be this lady on the screen like showing off these dildos and how great they are, the wet rabbit, and all these crazy little toys, and I would wake up and I would be so confused every time, like what is happening? But one time I woke up and the coupon code was on the screen.
Did you take a picture of it? You did!
At like 3 o'clock in the morning, I was like, shoot, I'm just going to take a picture of that real quick.
Anytime we can save some money.
Sure enough, took a picture of the code and ordered that next
Oh my gosh. That is so funny.
It just makes me laugh because when someone said Adam and Eve, that's
definitely happened multiple times too, because I'll wake up to a Snapchat and they're just being like, what
because their
the
theme
hell?
song is so loud. And
Yeah.
so the TV would be like normal, I'd be able to sleep through it, and then all of a sudden it's like, dee-dee.
At like 3 a.m.
I'm like, what the hell is happening?
That's awesome. That's so funny. Hey, at least you got a coupon out of it, right?
True.
Awesome. So the last question that falls in this topic that we asked was, what is your most embarrassing sex
Oh my
story?
god, this was the best
We died.
question we asked.
We died.
So good.
Awesome. So let's get into this first one. It says, a past sex partner and I ditched school one day and stayed at his house to watch a movie. One thing led to another when his mom came home and we didn't hear the front door open.
Oh my
She
God.
walked up the stairs and stood there, and we made eye contact. She just turned and went back downstairs, and I left his house right after. So nothing was said.
God, I know, how awkward.
Oh, that's hilarious.
How awkward.
Okay, and then someone said, two different people said that they have farted in their partner's faces while getting frisky.
2 different people said that. I was like, I guess that must be a common thing. I've honestly never had that happen.
I personally
I would be so embarrassed.
Yeah, but I've heard of that happening in like high school. People tell me that.
Really?
Like, yeah. I won't say names, but yeah, I think I told you.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember if I
That
did
would
or
be
not,
terrible.
but I know.
Dude, it happens.
Okay, do you want to read the next one?
Yep. Someone said, on my way to Vegas, this one was funny.
Yes, I love
On
this
my
one.
way to Vegas to visit my family on a red-eye flight. While on the airplane, while on the airplane, I think she meant to say a hot, but it says anti-hot.
And let's
a
it's
hot
H-O-T-T-T-T-T.
all caps. In parentheses, I'm talking 10 out of 10 smoking hot guy sat next to me. We got to talking about life, and one thing led to the next, and we ended up hooking up in the airplane bathroom. When we came out, there was a line of people waiting to use the bathroom. I was so embarrassed, and they all knew what we had done. Period. LMAO. Hashtag no regrets.
Oh, good. No regrets. Love that.
And then someone said, was hooking up with a guy and got a bloody nose. I literally bled all over his face. I wanted to die.
Gosh.
Okay, the other night, this didn't happen, but I thought I was going to get a bloody nose. And this is the exact thing that I came to because I was like, oh my God, I wonder if that like happens often. And the other night, we were getting jiggy, blah, blah, blah.
Getting jiggy. I like it.
And my sinuses started burning so bad I thought I was going to get a bloody nose, and that's the first story that came to my mind. I didn't get a bloody nose, but I was like, oh my God, maybe this is common. Maybe this is a thing.
Oh my
But
goodness,
it made
that
me
is
giggle.
so funny. Have you ever had sex in an airplane?
Not in an airplane.
I
Have
haven't
you had
either.
sex in an
No,
airplane?
I haven't.
I was like,
I
damn.
just was thinking because of
That's
that
skill.
story. Yeah.
That's
scared to
skill.
go to the bathroom in an airplane. Like,
I've never used the bathroom.
oh, it's scary. It is scary. But when you got like, if you're gonna pee your pants, you gotta go. But it's scary. Like when you flush, you feel like you're just gonna get sucked out and fall all the way down. Okay. Anyways, so
Is
we're
it like suctions?
yeah, and it makes this really loud sound. It's like it's like really loud, and you're just like ah. Okay.
Oh my God.
Awesome. So moving on to topic 4, how sex impacts the emotional aspects of relationships in life, and we also have some resources to share with you guys. So questions that we asked Dr. Holbrook on this topic was, for a woman that may feel insecure in the bedroom, what tips would you give her to boost her self-esteem or comfort? Here's what she had to say.
Here's for all the ladies that are saying
Yeah.
that they have issues or have struggle with feeling confident in the bedroom.
Yeah.
So this is not sexy, but I like to help clients understand why they feel about sex the way that they do. So a lot of times we'll do a deconstruction of the messages we get growing up. So for example, if you grew up in purity culture, one of the messages that you might have gotten growing up was that your genitals are gross, or that sex is dangerous if you have it before you're married, or that you are responsible for men's arousal or their behaviors, right? And so boosting your self-esteem and comfort in sex actually has a lot to do with going back and deconstructing or unwinding from the negative messages that you got that said you aren't worthy of being confident or comfortable in sex because you should be worried about your partner, or your genitals are gross, or your body is the most important, the way that your body looks is the most important part of sex. So it doesn't sound sexy. Like I wish I could say, put on some lingerie and, you'll feel so much better about your self-esteem. Sometimes that works, but let's dig a little deeper and understand why you don't feel confident in sex.
I love how she encourages us to dig deeper, because I think all of us want like quick fixes, but sometimes it's not always
that process.
Yeah.
Totally. The second question we asked Dr. Holbrook was, as an educator, do you feel that there are enough available public resources on sex, health, and benefits? This one was interesting because we also asked you guys this question, and it was very 50-50. Some people said yes, some people said absolutely not. So it was interesting to see your guys' response and compared to Dr. Holbrook, who actually is a public educator, and her thoughts on it.
Absolutely not. 100%, that's a no. It's going to be a no from me, dog. Because we see a lot of sex in media and porn, but we don't actually see a lot of healthy, communicative, comprehensive sexual experiences that are trauma-informed. So, no, we don't have near enough public resources available for sex.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Very, very interesting.
I agree with it though. I when I put that question out, I was like, what would I say? And I said
I would
no.
say no. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So how do you recommend or any advice on like how to boost confidence in a relationship and how to feel sexy and comfortable?
I think I agree with everything that like Dr. Holbrook said when it comes to communication. And I think lowering our standards, not necessarily our standards for, what do I want to say, like sex, but lowering our standards for our expectations of ourselves.
Okay.
And I think it just comes to like, have patience with yourself and don't feel like every sexual experience has to be something like what Dr. Holbrook said, like something you see on the movies or in porn or something like that. You know what I mean? I think we try so hard for everything to be perfect.
It's not perfect, how it is in the movies.
And that's just like, yeah. So I just think like give yourself some patience, some grace, and don't compare yourself to the media.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think for me, if you're in a relationship and, you know, like I was saying earlier, how Carson tells me all the time how beautiful I am and compliments me all the time and like even during, you know, like he's just so good about that. And so actually like believing him.
Yeah.
I think it's so unfair to him, and if you're in the same situation to your significant other, to like be like, no, you know, you're lying, or to just have those compliments and what he's saying just go out the window.
Yeah.
But actually like believing in it and just thinking about like, oh yeah, like I
sitting
truly
on it for a minute.
Yeah, like I truly believe that, oh, what he's saying is true. Like that's a confident booster in itself. So like actually listening to the compliments that you get from your significant other and not just brushing it off like it's nothing, because they don't have to say the things that they're saying. Like, they have no reason to lie to you.
And men
or
oftentimes aren't as emotional as we are. So I
right.
feel like when they do go out of their way to like, say something like that, they genuinely mean it.
Exactly. So, actually just believing it, and I think that will boost it right there, too.
Yeah, I agree. So we wanted to share a couple of favorite resources and apps, anything extra and helpful that we may have had that we could share with you guys. That you may be able to use. The one thing that I want to talk about is the app called Flow. Flow is nice just to have as a woman. It tracks your menstrual cycles. It, if you're planning or trying to plan a family or anything like that, you can track. It tells you like your ovulation dates and when you're likely to be fertile and when you're not likely to be fertile, which is also helpful. You log all of your symptoms, whether it be how you're feeling emotionally, physically, cramps, anything like that. And then you also are able to log your sex. So if you have unprotected sex or if you have protected sex.
Even if you masturbate or anything like that, you can track that as well.
Yeah.
And what, I'm sure it does it for you too, but like if you're about to start your period, it'll be like, here's some resources to read up on. So like it provides you more than just tracking, it provides you with actual information.
Resources and articles.
And videos that you can go and watch and all of that. So that is definitely mine as well.
That's the one that I put down. So I just wanted to mention that to you guys. If you don't have the Flow app, I highly recommend it.
Yep, for sure. Awesome, you guys!
That was such a fun episode.
Yes.
I just want to say, definitely go check out Dr. Holbrook's page on Instagram. Her handle is Dr. Celeste Holbrook. And her website is drcelesteholbrook.com. She has a ton of educational resources, things you can watch, different articles, not necessarily stuff that she wrote, but stuff that she has found to be credible and reliable pieces of information. So definitely go check out her website and follow her on Instagram. I know she's getting ready to do some sort of, I think she said she does, I can't remember if it's called Velvet Box or Velvet Talk. I don't know what it is exactly. I don't know if it's a podcast or what, but she is getting ready, I'm pretty sure, to speak on that. So go check out our page to learn more information on that.
Yeah, awesome. And we just want to say a huge thank you to you guys on YouTube, you guys who are listening, just for being here, for supporting, for following us. I hope you guys really enjoyed today's episode. Moving on to episode 4, we're going to be doing a Q&A episode. So we're going to turn the tables around and have you guys ask us the questions and we give you guys our answers.
And it can be anything. So
Nothing off the table.
Nothing off the table. Ask us whatever you want. We are here to answer. I think this is going to be a really fun episode, just to kind of engage conversation, but also for you guys to be able to get to know us a little bit more, besides being behind the microphone and seeing us on Instagram.
Yeah, for sure. And we also want to just wish everyone a huge happy Valentine's Day. Again, if you don't have a significant other, get with your girls, spend time with yourself, take that pressure off of what you need to do, what needs to be happy, and take it off and just actually enjoy the day. And for those of you who are in relationships, just have an amazing night.
Yes. Get frisky with it, girl.
Yeah. So I think that's everything we have to share with you guys. Yeah. So have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll talk to you guys in episode 4.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for checking out this video, watching it all the way through. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell down below so you guys are notified every single time a new episode goes up live. See you guys in the next video.